Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for this Tuesday morning. It is already the 8th day of July, if you can believe that. Just scary how time flies. But we move on. The summer keeps going. Guess what? Next week, a week from today, is the baseball All-Star game. Already. Half a season gone. A little over half a season, actually. Just, it's the adage that the older you get, the faster time seems to go. And I'm living proof of it, friends, as they say. Anyway, good morning to you and welcome. This is an open phone hour, whatever you'd like to talk about. 989-752-6111. At 10 o'clock, we will chat with the Bay County Executive Jim Barship. And at 11 o'clock, Ben from RoofMax will join us. So those are the programs ahead this morning. But again, for this hour, open phones. Interesting little twist on General Motors. They have a fleet of robo-taxis, but they're going to convert them to test vehicles. In effect, they will accelerate development of their hands-free, eyes-off advanced driver assist system by testing a limited number of Cruise Bolt vehicles on select highways in Michigan, Texas, and San Francisco. They began testing in Michigan and Texas in February, San Francisco mid-April. The cars operate with safety drivers. They're not alone, which are trained personnel who can take over control of the vehicle if needed. And the internal testing integrates autonomous technologies with Super Cruise for simulation purposes and does not involve public passengers. This is strictly a developmental lab, which General Motors is using their robo-taxis for. I'm too much of a driver to sit in my car and let the car do the work for me. I mean, I understand down the road this is going to be everywhere. Vehicles are getting to be more autonomous all the time, lane keeping and collision alert and you name it. Cross traffic warnings. It's every day, and every vehicle gets a new technology in it and puts us closer and closer to hands-off driving. Some vehicles come with hands-off driving already, although I don't think it's perfected. That's my guess. I'm just not ready for it. It's not me. I mean, if I bought a car that had it, fine. Would I use it? Probably not. Would I test it to see how it works? Yeah, probably would, just because I'm curious. But not ready to let the car do the driving for me. All right, let's go to Bay City. We'll talk to Gene this morning. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning to our favorite host.
Thank you.
So, thanks for taking my call. Russia, North Korea, and China have signed some kind of mutual agreement, I think maybe to aid each other.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And North Korea is now sending troops to Russia.
They've been doing that now for months.
So North Korea is going to be fighting in Ukraine along with the Russians.
Well, they have been. This is not new. They've been doing this for quite a while now, and they've lost a lot of soldiers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is
well,
old.
Anyhow, my point is, if Putin ends up with Ukraine, those rare earth minerals that Trump wants, Putin will never let Trump have those minerals. Mm-hmm. I just hope that pretty soon he does something.
Well, he just announced he's sending Ukraine more defensive weapons.
I
Just
hope
announced
so.
it yesterday.
Last week, Trump was talking, and he said, I think Democrats hate me. And then he said, but that doesn't matter because I hate the Democrats. You know, 40%, around 40% of Americans are Democrats. You know, to have a president, you know, they take an oath to say that he hates 40% of the people he's governing is not a good thing.
Well, then I guess the Democrats shouldn't say they hate him either, and many of them do. Is that fair?
I have never heard it. Now my personal...
Just listen to what comes out of Congress. What do you mean you never heard it? You got to be kidding me.
People hate... Personally, I'll talk about myself personally. There are some things he's doing, like we got to get more manufacturing back. Now, I agree with that, but there are some things I disagree with.
Yeah, me too.
And I hate some things that he's doing, but I do not hate the man.
Well,
and I think
you
most
tell that
Democrats,
to tell that to the Democrats in Congress that espouse all kinds of hate against him. Just, yeah, I mean, come on, you can't live in the dark to know that's not happening.
they're against what he's doing.
No, they're against him, and they've said so.
They're against what him is doing, but not the personal man.
I think you're incorrect, Gene. I'll leave it there.
Well, you know, when a man takes the oath of office, he's supposed to be president for everyone.
Yep.
Not just the people that voted for him.
That's right, but but he can't please everyone, can he?
He's so against California because they have a Democratic governor and there's mostly Democrats.
Answer my
there.
question. He can't please everyone. He's going to put policies in place that are going to go against what the Democrats believe. And that's what happens when you win. He who wins has the power. That's always been the case in this country.
Have you ever heard any president, Republican or Democrat, say that they hate people?
I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. How about we go back to the founding fathers who couldn't get along and shot each other?
The thing in California, of course, California is mostly Democratic.
20 seconds.
But there are also Republicans living there. I mean, the state isn't pure Democrat.
No, it's turning more and more Republican, as a matter of fact.
When he does things to hurt California, he's also hurting the Republicans that are living there.
All right, when Democrats do what they do, the same thing happens. I mean, when Democrats in California put policies in place that hurt Republicans, same thing, isn't it? That's politics. He who has the power.
Now, if a president says he's a religious man, the Bible says, love one another, do good to those that hate you.
All right.
And vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
We're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there because I've got to take a break.
Any religious person...
Gene, I said we're going to leave it there. I got to take a break.
You.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we'll be back. Lines open 989-752-6111.
It's time.
This Tuesday morning, And let's get back to our phone. Charlotte is in Hemlock. Charlotte, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm calling in regards to the schools that are promoting their best and brightest.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone ever thought how insulting that is to all of the other students? I'm an elder.
Yeah.
We talk about bullyism, we talk about negativity, we talk about things. I notice that Hemlock is not putting their valedictorian and salutatorian in that position.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I have thought it in the past. It's kind of a catch-22, Charlotte, when you think about it, though. We want to promote and acknowledge those that have achieved because it's good to put them out there for people to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So there are good points to it. But at the same time, I understand what you're saying, and I don't know that there's an easy answer.
I think they could change the wording. We are acknowledging all of the graduates of the schools that have completed their 12 years.
So here are representatives then?
Yes.
Interesting.
I really think that they could do much better on that. And also, do we need to hear it all summer long, all day long?
Well, one of the things is it's a sponsored thing, so there's money involved. And when you're a broadcaster, money is how you survive. So from that standpoint, I understand why they're doing it that way. The other thing, it's really a catch-22 in some ways because we always want to acknowledge achievement. Those who achieve are always promoted in the limelight, whether it's in inventions that we enjoy in our lives or education or a pilot who lands on the Hudson River. We always take those folks that achieve above and beyond and acknowledge them. And that's been history. So I guess, that's why I say it's a catch-22 because I understand what you're saying. Does it demean those who are not of that level? Maybe, but I'm not so sure that's true. I think the mere fact that you have a valedictorian means somebody has risen to the top of the pile. Don't you think?
But the brightest are not brightest at everything.
That's true.
I'll
grant you that.
Some of the students that are graduating may excel in other areas rather than that.
Yeah, that's true.
You talk about college, some go for a technical degree.
But understand that the measure used here is simply academics and personal. It's not only the academics, but it's who the person is, what they've done in the community. There's lots that go into it.
Yep.
So I just, it's one of those, maybe the wording change would be nice.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. They should acknowledge all of them that graduate because those who drop out, would be left out. But all those that graduate, the public is acknowledging or they're acknowledging the fact that they worked to get their high school diploma.
Right.
That's important.
The other thing which I find refreshing today is we've moved away from this concept that everybody has to have a college degree. We're promoting the
That's true.
trades again. We're promoting the fact that you can go out and get a skill and do very well in life. You can become a welder, a plumber, an electrician, all of those things, and actually do very, very well for yourself. And I'm glad to see we finally came to that, because for so long we made people feel guilty if they didn't go to college.
Yeah, I just thought if they heard this opinion, they may change their wording to acknowledge all, but we are showing you the top of the class, the valedictorians and the salutatorians. I see some of them only show one person, not two.
Yeah, and well, some of the schools are very small too, so.
You mean they only have one graduating student?
No, they may not have. They may not have a valedictorian and a salutatorian. Maybe some of those classes are very small. A lot of these schools are very rural. They may not have the same structure, so to speak. All right.
Oh, okay.
So,
thank you.
Good thoughts. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
And let's talk to Marcy in Saginaw Township. Marcy, good morning.
Good morning. Just a quick note on your self-driving cars. My son, he lives in Battle Creek, and so when the Elon Musk deal was going on, the dealer down there had zero. You didn't have to have any money down and $150 a month for the basic Tesla. Mm-hmm. So for 2 years. So he thought, well, I'll give it a try. And 4 different times he let it try the self-driving mode, and he was almost in a wreck 4 times. So
yeah, that's what worries me. Now I have to tell you, I rented one. I have a friend that owns a Tesla, so before I rented the car, I went to him and said, "Show me what I need to know about this thing." But I rented one for a day in Kansas City 2 years ago, and I found, first of all, I wasn't going to let the car drive itself, and secondly, I found it very distracting. It drove fine, and I liked the regenerative braking and all of that stuff. What I didn't like was that big screen that's the lifeblood of the car sitting in the middle of the dash, and it was very distracting because everything you wanted to do, you had to go over and fiddle with that screen. And I'm not a fan of that.
yeah, he likes all the bells and whistles, but
Well, I do
he's
too.
not a fan of the self-driving, and he loves how it can accelerate so quickly and all this.
Oh,
Not-
yeah.
Not
Oh,
that you're
yeah.
ever going to use that, or should be, but anyhow, I just wanted to call and tell you that, yeah, he wasn't a fan either after he gave it a try. So,
All
have
right.
a
Well,
great
Marcy,
day.
thanks for calling. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
In driving the Tesla that I drove, and it was a Model 3, I think. I don't know all their models, but I'm old school, folks. I like tactile buttons that you can push. Even though my current personal car has all the fancy stuff, lane keeping, and it's got, GPS and all that stuff, it has buttons that I can reach over and feel. I like buttons. I also like gauges. I'm big on interiors. As a matter of fact, I would buy a car for its interior more than its exterior. Now, that may sound strange, but where do I spend my time? I don't spend my time on the hood of the car. I spend my time in the driver's seat. That's my universe. And I want that to be as comfortable for me as possible. And that means seating, positioning, buttons, gauges, everything. And I have to be honest, I'm not a fan of all this high-tech screening on these cars that now some of them go all the way across the car. I just, maybe if I own one someday, maybe I'll have to get used to it because maybe they'll all be that way. But I just, I find all of that very, very distracting. I know someone who just bought, I think it was a Lincoln Nautilus or a Navigator. I forgot which one now. But it's got a 48-inch screen right across the whole top of the dash from pillar to pillar, side to side, plus another screen that sits underneath. And I'm saying to myself, if your eyes are supposed to be on the road, what do you do with all of this electronic screening? Now, that's me. Those kinds of things sell a lot of cars. I understand that. But I'm just old-fashioned that way. What can I tell you? All right, we're going to take a break. Lines open, 989-752-6111.
Hello, I'm Shep. And I'm...
Different thing is you talk about automatic cars driving themselves.
Yeah.
We were in Detroit this weekend at the airport to fly out, and my husband needed a wheelchair. They had a self-driving wheelchair.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those.
I mean, it's, they put him in the chair. They programmed in which gate we had to go to, and this little car went down, and if people walked in front of it, it slowed up or it went around obstacles.
That's
And
amazing.
we got where we were going to our gate, and it said, you're at your destination. You have 1 minute to get out of the car. We got out of the car. It said, and then on the little computer on the arm rest, it said, do you, you're at your gate, and you're out. Do you return? And you push the return button, and the little chair just turned around and headed back from whence it came.
And guess what? You didn't have to tip it.
No, that's right. And it makes this little chiming sound, and everybody's looking to see what's going on, and it's just moseying along by itself.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's
It
fun.
was really, yeah, it was funny. I mean, it was like, okay.
Now, did they charge you for that?
No charge.
Really? Well, that's
Yep.
even better.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. I thought I talked to one of the guys who was a pusher, and I think he said it only been in there a few weeks. It's a new program.
Wow.
But it was really neat to
Well,
have this little thing just
yeah, it's wonderful.
yeah. And like I said, it knew, like when you got to the walkways, it was heading that way, and it just kind of veered around it, and a little kid ran in front of us, so it slowed up, and it went.
Excellent. That is really that. I'll have to look for that next time I'm down the airport. That really sounds interesting.
Yeah, it is. It was quite an adventure. So
And you made it to your airplane on time.
on time, no problems. And like I said, it was so funny. And I evidently, because then when you pushed it to go back, to its station, it said unoccupied. So I'm thinking if somebody tried to get into it, it would probably stop or something. If somebody tried to ride it back.
Sure.
Because it said unoccupied.
Wow.
So
Progress.
you'll have to look. Yeah, look it up next time you're down
Well,
there.
I'll tell you what. That I would do. That's a lot different than sitting in an automobile at 70 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, you got that right. No, I'm not. I want to drive my own car, thank you.
Yeah. That's interesting, Carol. Well, listen, thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Okay, all righty.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Well, there's more and more of it. Look at some of the factories. Have you ever seen video on an Amazon distribution center and how their robots do everything? Well, most everything, not everything, but they do a lot. From picking the item you order to delivering it to the packaging area, all of that is done by robots. And car factories where they move things around with robots. Let's face it, we're in a technological age today, the likes of which we haven't seen. Particularly those of us who have been around a while remember the old days. Everything was done manually by hand. And today, well, it's, we said it before, the cell phone that you own, your smartphone, has more computing power than the computers that landed Neil Armstrong on the moon. Think about that. In that one little device that you can hold in your hand. So, it's a different world we live in today, that is for sure. All right, take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland next to my car dealer, McDonald Ford. As you probably know, if you are an allergy sufferer, we have gone through a pretty bad allergy season and still are. And Quick Lane in Freeland has an answer to keep you healthy while driving. It's called FrigiFresh. It's a hospital-grade disinfectant for your car's air conditioning. And if you want to know more about it, keep listening, because here is John from Quick Lane to tell you about it.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
To Quick Lane in Freeland to get FrigiFresh today. And by the way, while you're there, stop over to McDonald Ford. It's right next door. Take a look at the lineup of new Fords at McDonald Ford and find out about the various incentive programs they have going on this summer to save you money. Quick Lane and McDonald Ford in Freeland, they stand together to serve all of your automotive needs.
What's the most important part of a
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW on a kind of a lighter note, if you will. You heard this morning. They were talking about it on the morning team. Charlie brought it up. It's a list of fast food chains named least nutritious in America by somebody called World Atlas. I have no idea who World Atlas is or what their expertise is, but they released this list of 10 unhealthy foods. And on that list is Chick-fil-A. And they even point out their salads at Chick-fil-A. A market salad is 550 calories, 31 grams of fat, 6 grams of saturated fat, no trans fats, 80 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,010 milligrams of sodium, 42 carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, 26 grams of sugar, 28 grams of protein. All that in a salad. There's a spicy Southwest salad and a Cobb salad, which is even worse, the Cobb salad. 830 calories, 60 grams of fat, 13 grams of saturated fat, no trans, 230 milligrams of cholesterol, 2,220 milligrams of sodium. Wow, that's a lot of salt. 31 carbohydrates, 5 grams of fiber, 8 grams of sugar, 42 grams of protein, and the list goes on and on. So their list of the unhealthiest fast food restaurants, World Atlas, whoever they are, Wendy's was number 1, Sonic was number 2, then Taco Bell, Dairy Queen, KFC, Quiznos, McDonald's, Smashburger, which we don't have any around here, Little Caesars, and Chick-fil-A. Folks, let me ask you a serious question. Do you care what World Atlas just did? Because if you go to a fast food restaurant, are you really worried about nutrition? Or are you just looking to get something to eat real quick? You know, it's like for years and years and years they've told us to read the labels on the box. Now, I know some people actually do read the labels and make decisions based on what's in the package. I grant you that. But the majority of people do not. It's like putting the warning on the pack of cigarettes that says they could kill you. How many people read it, and how many people said, oh, maybe I'm not going to buy cigarettes because of that warning? I would venture a guess of very few. But more importantly, who is World Atlas to be the expert? I don't even know who they are. But every now and then we get these organizations that feel compelled to tell us how to lead our lives and where not to go and what not to eat. And they do it without credentials. Now I'm going to have to look up World Atlas to see who they are. World Atlas means to me a map maker. So I will have to look and see if they're more than a map maker.